Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, students? I hope that you're all fine. Inshallah, in this video, I'm going to read and explain the questions that you have in your box, page 59. So please, all of you, open your books, page 59. Listen carefully, pay attention, and take all the notes. So now, in page 59, here you have 6 questions that I'm going to explain. Just understand the questions and then I'll answer them orally for you, and after that I'll show you all the answers or written answers. And after finishing these 6 questions, I will also show you a worksheet with some extra questions that I'm going to read and answer at the same time. So please, all of you, pay attention and take the notes, okay? Now, let's start with question number 1. Well, question number 1 is done for you. So let's just read it. Why did Charles Dickens have to stop going to school? Well, we have mentioned that he stopped to go regularly for the first time, okay? And then he stopped definitely or at all. He stopped at all going to school. Why was that? Because he had to work. Okay? Why did he have to work? Why did he have to work? Because his father had some financial problems, right? So he had to stop going to school and work to help his family. Number 2. How did Dickens' experiences of work influence his writing? Influence يؤثر أو يؤثر على كتابته. Okay, experiences. He experienced many things in his life. Okay, especially in his work. While working, the first work that he has to do is what? Or the first job that he has to do was in a factory. Right? And we have mentioned that when he was in the factory, he felt what? He felt alone. So he felt alone. Okay? Or he was alone. Right? Being alone or feeling alone or lonely influenced his writing. Okay? So his writings were very emotional, by the way. Number 3, what was his first successful published work? Well, we have mentioned that when he started to write, okay, he started to write pieces of series or writings in the newspaper. Then these pieces were published later as the name of Pickwick Papers, right? If you remember the name, Pickwick Papers. Okay. Number 4. What issues did many of his novels highlight? What's the meaning of highlight? Highlight made the most important. Okay, the most important topics or issues. So what were the most important topics that he talked about in his novels? Well, he had talked about what? Cruelty of slavery or cruel treatment of slavery. And what else? About childhood labor or child labor in the 19th century, as we remember. Okay? طيب. Next one. What do you think are the moral problems with using children as labor? Moral problems means problems اللي هي الأخلاقية أو المشاكل الأخلاقية. تمام أو أدبية. With using children as labor. Now, do you think that children must be used as labor? Okay? No, they have to live their childhood, right? They have to play. They have to do things that are with children, right? Not just work to help their families. Okay? So you have to write your opinion here. Do you think are the moral, or what do you think are the moral problems with using children as labor? Number 6, do you think a novel that addresses a social problem would contribute to diminishing these problems? If so, how? If not, why not? So, the novel that gives the ideas about the novels that gives ideas about social problems. Now, what is the social problem that is mentioned in this text? First was cruel treatment of slaves, right? And the other one was the labor of children. So, do these novels that talked about these two problems would contribute اللي هي بمعنى يشارك أو يساهم to diminishing these problems. Diminishing اللي هي to make less problems, يقلص من هذه المشاكل. Okay? If so, how? And if not, why not? It's also, you have here to write your point of view. Now here you have the answers of the questions from 1 to 6, and I'll just discuss number 5 and 6 with you now here. Now number 5, I've given you a suggested answer. It's my point of view, and you have tried to write your own point of view, by the way. So number 5, I think children should not be used as labor because they need to be nourished and looked after until they are strong enough to do the tough manual jobs that they are expected to do as children. Additionally, they have a right to be children and play and learn. So if you can just justify your answer by this point, it's okay. Okay? Now, in number 6, I have also mentioned a suggested answer here. I think a novel that about these social problems might make people more aware of them, but I think it might take a very long time for people to start to take action because it is not urgent enough. Also, people might just think it is fiction, so there is no point in getting worried about the situation. So I think that a novel about these social problems might make people more aware of them. Okay, so if people are more aware of these problems, I think also that they may start to take actions to solve these problems, right? And again, it's my own point of view. Try to give your own point of view. Okay? Now, after this, now I'm going to show you the worksheet with the extra questions and I'll answer them with you. Now, here is the worksheet that I have prepared for you. Here's the text, all the text, and then the questions. Let's do question number 1. Write the sentence which indicates when and where Dickens was born. I have mentioned that there must be a question about when and where Dickens was born, right? So I need to write the sentence which indicates. Indicates means shows. So which sentence shows when and where Dickens was born? Let's go back to the text. At the beginning of the text, there's the sentence, Charles Dickens was born on 7th February 1812 in Portsmouth on the southern coast of England. So this is the full answer. You have to write all the sentence. Okay? Next. According to the text, what type of children was Dickens? What type of children was Dickens? He was, let's say he was a calm boy, a lonely boy, right? So he was a kind of a calm. He was a calm and lonely boy. Okay? He was a calm and lonely boy. طبعا a lonely boy. Okay? So this is the answer of question number 2. Let's look at question number 3. How far had Dickens liked reading? How far لأي حد okay had Dickens liked reading? Well, we have mentioned, or it has mentioned in the text, that he preferred reading than playing with other children, right? He preferred, okay, reading than playing with other children. Okay? And you have also you can answer from the text itself. It's the first paragraph, okay? Where that he preferred reading to playing with other children. And about his personality also, he was a quiet boy. Calm or quiet, it's okay. Okay? تمام. Number 4. At the age of 12, life for his family changed very suddenly. What was that change? So, a change has happened to his family, and as we have mentioned that, a financial problem appeared, right? His father had a financial problem. And from the text, you can find it also in the text, in the next story, the second paragraph. Okay, from this part. At the age of 12, life for his family changed very suddenly. His father had financial problems, so Charles was no longer able to attend school regularly and he had to work at a factory. So this is the answer of number 4. Okay, his father had financial problems, so Charles was no longer able to attend school regularly and he had to work at a factory. Now, number 5, let's look at it. How could Dickens' life affect influence his writing? Well, we have just answered the question previously at or the question, or it is the same of the question which is in page 59 in your student books, right? As we have said that because he was a calm and lonely boy. Okay, so that affected his writings, right? ممكن تكملوها طبعا working in a in a factory. Sorry. Okay, because he was a calm and lonely boy working in a factory, that affected his writing. Quote the sentence which shows that Dickens didn't enjoy his work as a clerk. Quote means write. اقتبس. Okay, the sentence which shows that Dickens didn't enjoy his work as a clerk. So you have to write the same sentence from the text. Let's go back to the text and see which sentence does they mean here. Do they mean, sorry. Okay, so here It's when he worked as a clerk. Here it is. Yes. Okay. Now, he didn't like working there. There refers to what? To the lawyer's office. And what work that he was working as a clerk. So the sentence that we need to write is he didn't like working there. Okay? Now, in number 7, yes, what was Dickens' first step to be a writer? His first step to be a writer was what? It was, again, here, his publication in a newspaper, right? That he began to write short pieces for publication in a newspaper. So this is the start of his writings. And this is question number 7. تمام? Now, number 8. What were Dickens' novels about? It's the same question of what were Dickens' novels, or what Dickens' novels highlighted. So they highlighted or were about what they were about. Cruel treatment of people here, especially children, and child labor in the 19th century. So we have 2 topics that Charles Dickens talked about. And these are the answer of question number 8. تمام? Now, number 9. The text has mentioned many of Charles Dickens's works. Write down 3 of them. Works doesn't mean jobs. It's not jobs here. I mean here writings. What did he write? You can mention Oliver Twist, Dumpy and Son. Okay. And what? The Pickwick Papers. What else? Great Expectations, and so on. So you have many writings of Charles Dickens. Let's just underline them here. Yes. Here we have Great Expectations, number 1. David Copperfield, number 2. Okay. Number 3, what? The Pickwick Papers. Number 4, Oliver Twist. Number 5, Dumpy and Son. So you have here 5 things that, or 5 things of his works. 5 of his works للأعمال وليست الوظائف يا أول. تمام? So this was the question or the answer of question 9. Now 10, we have just answered it in the student book. Let's move to find from the text the words which mean the system of having slaves, which is what? Slavery. Okay? And behavior or actions that cause pain to people or animals, which is what? Cruel. Okay? Or cruelty. تمام? It's cruelty. Behavior or actions that cause pain to people or animals, which is cruelty. Okay, أول. Here we have finished all what is about Charles Dickens. We have discussed all the text, answered all the types of questions. So please, you have to write all the notes in your student books and in the notebooks. And I'll send you the worksheet as a PDF at the group that we have. Thank you, ya Awal, for watching, and take care of yourselves.